let's just go reference USA. So obviously they've got a website, and it is .com, referenceusa.com. If I get in there, all right, so if you go into Reference USA, it'll say things like databases and things like that, but there's nowhere in here that you can actually access the database that I keep talking about. It tells you right here, you're trying to reference or trying to access Reference USA, and then it gives you the steps here. So I'm verbally telling you, you have to go to the library, you have to have a library card. Step 2 is access your library's website, which I'm gonna show you, and then we'll be able to get in. So Reference USA, you have to have a library card. You have to get into Reference USA through your library's website, which we're about to do. And I also want to clarify, the majority of libraries that I've ever talked to and of most of our sales partners do use Reference USA. If you go to your library this weekend and get all this stuff set up and they tell you they don't have Reference USA, they do have another database that'll be similar to Reference USA. Okay, all of this stuff is just research and public information. So if they don't have Reference USA, just let them know what you're trying to do. Trying to find a database that has all the business information. I'm doing research on all the businesses. I need a contact, whatever it is, they have a database because it is public information. So what we're gonna do, my demo account is out of the Chicago library. So I'll do this as if I didn't know how to get into the system. And I'm just going to go Chicago library, maybe resources. Chicago Public Library resources. Online resources. So if I wanted to, I could go to their website and kind of filter out and have to figure it out. You may just want to Google your library and then add resources just like this. I'm pretty sure it's going to get us right where we want. Online resources, Chicago Public Library. So now we're going to the Chicago Public Library website, right? This is not Reference USA. Online resources, A to Z resources. So we're looking for ways to get resources here. We already know the name of what we're looking for, obviously, Reference USA. So in here, there's all sorts of references for a lot of different stuff, it looks like. We already know what ours is called. So I'm going to go to R, and here we go, Reference USA. Boom. So I'm accessing it through the library website. There we go. Let me put this in. I'm glad I wrote it down. 9. There. Login. And bada boom. Now we are in Reference USA the way that we need to. I'm not going to save that because I want to actually show how to log in every time. All right, so now we're actually into the Reference USA where you can do something with it because we accessed it through our library system. So what we're going to do here, somebody raise a hand. Where is somebody at? Whoever the first hand up that I see, we're going to do this tailored to you. Whoever wants to. Rick Bray, first hand I see. Rick, let me open up. Rick, where are you at if you want to unmute real quick? Are you Jersey or you're DC? I can't remember.
I'm in Maryland.
You're in Maryland. Get here. So let me get in here. I'm going to keep you unmuted for a second. We're going to go to U.S. businesses. Let's search. I'm going to do an advanced search. Let it catch up. And let's go geography, city, state. What's a big town near you, or where are you at? Not like DC, not Baltimore. What's just a bigger surrounding town, maybe 100,000 people or less?
Sure. You could go Timonium or Lutherville. Lutherville.
One word.
One word.
Maryland. That's yep. Massachusetts. MY.
MD.
I might not need to put that in there. Let me try that. Lutherville, Maryland. All right, so I just added that to the list. And let me close that. All right, so when we first got in here, folks, there was, look how many leads there was, 15.5 million leads. So let's update the count to Lutherville. All right, now we're down to 2,286. So now we're going to gather the leads just from Lutherville. Rick, thank you. That's all I needed. I'm going to mute you again here. Great call last night, by the way. Appreciate your feedback.
Thanks.
Got it. All right, so Lutherville, Maryland. Now let's go and let's filter this down a little bit more. What we want is we want owners, right? So let's go to what people's title is. The title that they hold in the company, obviously owner, probably president, which is going to be an owner for an LLC or a corporation, basically, president. And we're going to do chief executive officer, which is CEO. So now we're going to take those 2,000 and something leads, 2,286, and now we're going to filter it out to where we want the owner, president, and CEO only. 476. So you're thinking, well, there's a ton of doors out there that you didn't hit. Well, you can still go hit them. You could pull that list and go call. But this is now 476 people that we're going to have some serious information on. And then you can filter this out in different ways, okay? You can go over here, play around with this. You can get in and find out how much money, how much money they reported last year, number of employees, sales volume. I mean, you can get pretty sophisticated. I don't like teaching that. I think everyone should hit every single door that's in front of them, because at the end of the day, it's not about the business type. It's about the business owner, right? We're not looking for a specific business type. Like liquor stores aren't better than granite countertop stores because they have a smaller average ticket. What you're looking for is a business owner that's upset with their fees, that doesn't want to pay the fees anymore. Scott, I see your hand. It keeps showing me that it's going off. Did you have a question, Scott? I've got you unmuted. I'll put your hand down. It might just be alerting me because it went up when I asked. So if you have a question, feel free to raise your hand again. They're all down. Try to be interactive on this meeting here. All right, so let's go ahead and let's view this. So we got 476 leads. So now if you're working the phone specifically, you have the whole United States, right? That list was 2,200 and I filtered it down to 475. If you're on the phones, you can call people without having their names if you want to. But the fact that you literally have 15.5 million doors and businesses in the United States, why even call if you don't have their name? I would never call a business saying, can I talk to the owner or who's in charge of XYZ? If I'm on the phones, I'm calling, hey, is Carrie in? Hey, Andrew, what's going on, buddy? Hey, Arthur, happy Friday. What's happening? David, good to catch up with you. This is Joe Wagner. I'm calling, talking to the owner or asking for the owner, okay? I'm not going to call like a sales guy calling out of the yellow pages asking who handles their credit card processing. You're going to have to make 300 calls a day if you do that. So anyways, if you're on the phones, you just now got a resource on every phone call you make, having the information that you actually need, specifically their name. Then when you set the appointment, all right, Arthur, so we're going to do this. I'll be down there Thursday, 3 o'clock. I'll go over this. Just to confirm with you, you're still down at 2330 West Joppa Road, right? And you're in Suite 185 still. Maybe they moved. Maybe they're still there. You have to verify that. Now you actually have their address right in front of you as well. Now, if you're doing door-to-door, which is the majority of Easy Pay, not everybody, but the majority, you can still use this information, print it off. And I'm just going to go to street address, just click on it there. And that just organized everything in order. Okay, so like if I did go to Baltimore, I asked Rick not to give me a major city like Baltimore, but if I went to a city like Baltimore, whatever metro area you're living in, if you live in one, there's tons of main streets, right, that have hundreds of businesses on it. You could literally click street address and you're going to get pages and pages and pages of that street in the right sequence. So you could walk down the street just hitting doors in order, walking in, knowing who the business owner is. I don't know if there's going to be a main street out in this town or not. Looks like there's a lot of buildings, things like this, 9515, suite numbers, but you get the idea here. You could walk down the street with all of these in order, hit the next door, hit the next door, hit the next door. There's a lot of buildings out here. Get out to page 20. I'll find like Main Street or you know, First Avenue or something like that. But at the end of the day, you understand what I'm doing. So that's how you get to the information and filter it down with the criteria that you want, the city you want, with the business owner and all that stuff. All you're going to do here, I'll just show you on one page. So there's only 10 companies per page. It's like 25 maybe. So you would highlight that. If I wanted to, I could go to the next page, highlight that. Now I've got 50. So if your goal is to talk to 30 people a day, well, I could come in here. This is a Sunday task. This is not a Friday morning task. It's not a Saturday. It could be Saturday night, I guess. So I just highlighted 150. If my goal next week is I'm going to talk to 30 people a day, well, I just pulled 150. I'm going to download this list. So now I'm going to get these 150 people. I want them in an Excel spreadsheet. Folks, you can hold yourself accountable. My goal is to talk to 150 people. You bring this list out in the field with you. If it's not all crossed out, marked up, color coordinated with notes on it, you didn't hit your goal. Why would you quit on a Friday? You could get that list, get out there on Saturday, and finish off this list. So what we're going to do, I normally do detailed, but it always comes out and I'm training it the wrong way. So let's go custom. So what we want on our list, we don't need record type. If you want zip code, it's up to you. And address, city, state. We're going to want a phone number. Phone number. So obviously we want the name, we want the first and last name of the owner, we want the address and the phone number. There we go. Now let's go download records. All right, now I've got an Excel spreadsheet. I've got Facebook Live and I've got Zoom going, so give me a second here. I'm waiting for Excel to open and then I'll change my screen share. Just give me a second to do that. Opening up Excel. All right, so I've got that. Give me a second to change my screens. All right, so on Facebook Live, I can't change. All right, so if you're on Facebook Live, it doesn't look like there's a way for me to change the screen share. If you're on Zoom, we can. So let me do it. Boom. Okay, so here's what we just downloaded. We went in there and we downloaded 150. So if you want to have like an actual tangible something to hold yourself accountable for the week, here you go. Go print this Sunday night and you have to talk to 30 people per day. And here it is for you. You can now walk down the street, have their information. And what you do is as you're getting business cards at the end of the day, you're going to come back at the end of the night and you're going to take some notes. Interested, appointment, Monday, 10 a.m. Calling his bank tonight. Follow up. In contract till March. Said he'll sign up. All right, so at the end of the night, you start putting in some notes. You also, as you're out in the field, I would print off, if your goal is to talk to 30 a day, I'd probably print off this list up to at least 50. Give yourself more than 30. And while you're out there, the ones that are just flat out not interested on paper when you're in the field, maybe you just draw a line through it. Draw a line through it. So you started your day off, your first couple doors. You did good, but they weren't interested. So you crossed them out while you were out in the field. When you come back tonight, you just go over here, mark them as red. People just flat out weren't interested, didn't want to talk to you, heard the message, not interested. This person, you have an appointment set with. Okay, and you can color coordinate this however you want. Maybe an appointment for you would be yellow. You went through here, business owner not there, business owner not there. This guy wasn't interested. Let's get him red, right? Maybe you leave the ones where you didn't actually talk to the owner. Maybe you leave them white, right? Even if you talk to an employee, not a big deal. Or if you have good notes on an employee, you know, manager said owner complains about fees, right? So maybe I would leave that white because I didn't actually talk to the owner, but maybe I got some good information and those notes can still help me. So when I come back in, you know, hey, Joe, your owner, you know, or Sam, the manager, you know, I brought it up. I know he's not the one that handles this, but most owners hate their fees. And he mentioned something about, you know, hearing you talk about it. I've got a way that we can eliminate those. Do you have a minute? Right? That's really valuable information. Hey, Anthony, I was here yesterday and Sam and me talked, boom, boom. So when you go back in there, you got his name, you know who Sam is, you know where you left off, right? All right, so then we come back. That person wasn't there, calling his bank tonight. You can see what I'm doing here, right? Not real complicated stuff. It just takes a couple minutes every time you walk outside a door to take the notes. And then it takes a couple minutes when you get home to do this, right? Maybe something else is orange for you. Let me make that a little bit different. Do like an actual orange. Orange was somebody, hey, I'm really busy right now. You didn't really get you didn't get the message out. The owner was there. He didn't say, yeah, I want you to, you know, sign me up, but he did say, you know, if you come first thing in the morning when I'm not so busy, I'll give you 3 minutes, right? So he wasn't an appointment like I mark in these yellows, but he wasn't a red. He didn't say, get out of my business. He was somewhere in the middle, right? So again, you're going to come up with your own color coordinating system. And as more and more time goes by, let's be realistic here. Maybe you get a whole group of business owners. Let's say you get a whole group. Can you handle that? This is what Rick was talking, this is what Amit was talking about last night. When you get on one of those rolls, how many people can you talk to? He talked to 39 people before someone said yes. He even admitted on the call last night, and Rick and Sam brought it up as well. If you're out there, can you handle this? Or are you going to get right here and be like, you know what, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. No one in my area wants it. Or are you going to be the one that knows, hey, no, I need to learn this. I need to make this work because the outcome is financial freedom. So even though I don't necessarily love doing this all the time, every day, I know if I learn it and apply it for 1 to 3 years, I'll be financially free. So you know what? I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep trying. Those are the people that get the deal. That guy signed up, okay? So we're on number 57. Maybe this is 2 days worth of work. There's going to probably be more yellows, definitely more oranges. I definitely wanted to put this in there because that's reality. You're going to have points where you talk to a lot of people and no one's interested. You have to be able to push through that and keep going. But at the end of the day, at the end of the week, imagine this whole list being color coordinated. You wake up every day, you know who you have not talked to. Maybe you have some notes in there. Now you're setting up appointments. You're finding a couple one-stop closes as you're going out there doing doing what you're supposed to do. And this is going to constantly change as well. Okay, so when you go back to this person, maybe, you know, he called his bank. The bank's not going to tell him to sign up. They lowered his rates. I'm not going to switch. Okay, perfect. And you may want to color coordinate that a different way, whatever works for you, so that when you come back in 3 months, maybe you can check up on him again, right? Maybe instead of that, maybe you make him purple. This is someone that over time, next time I'm in town, I need to follow up with, right? These are gonna turn into different colors. The owners weren't there. Maybe they were there this time. They were willing to set up an appointment. This person, after you ran your appointment, he signed up. He was ready to go. This person, you can never reach the owner. This might stay white for 2 weeks. He's just never in. I keep trying, can't reach him. And as this whole list here starts becoming color coordinated, imagine the value of that. So next Monday, when you start, you have another list of 150 in that same town, because if there's enough leads, I would have another sheet of 150 to start my week. But before I even started working my new list of 150, I'm going to start with my yellows and oranges. I already did the work. And if you talk to 150 people, folks, you're going to have potential merchants. And if you color coordinate it like this, it's going to be very, very easy. every night when you're game planning for tomorrow, or every Sunday when you're game planning for the week, now we have a real plan. Now we're not just out there, you know, on a hamster wheel, only trying to get one-stop closes. It's very, very informative. It's very custom to you. It's based on your experience. This list, any company, any person can get this list, but what you're doing by color coordinating and keeping notes is it's yours. You can't buy this. You can't sell it either. It's yours based on your relationship and what you dealt with when you got in the door. And then fast forward, okay? Use your imagination. This whole list there's gonna be a lot of red, right? Let's not lie, there's gonna be a lot of red on there, but that doesn't matter. All that matters is the yellows and oranges and greens and purples, if whatever colors you end up doing. Let's say we get out of this town. So now I'm done working Lutherville. I've worked this list the best that I can to the point where, yeah, there's still a couple of people, but it's not worth my week to go out there. I need to move on to the next town. I need to get out of Lutherville. Well, you're going to save this file here. Right now it says custom, but you're going to save it as Lutherville and maybe even put a date there. Let's save as Lutherville, Maryland. Last time I was there was 1/18/19. Save. All right, so now you can see the title. Now I have a file here. I can save it into my territories folder or my Google Drive or wherever you want to save this information. So now it's time to move on to the next town, and then the next town and the next town. You go work that 100-mile radius around you. Well, now next time you go to Lutherville, whether it's next month or 6 months or a year, however long it is, before you go to Lutherville and go talk to all the businesses, you just pull your sheet out here. Now you're going to start going right back to the purples. Hey, last I talked with you, you were interested. I know you called your bank. Just wanted to check in. You know, I'm the guy out here. It's time to come back to Lutherville. Let's talk about it again. How are those fees? Last time I talked to you, I know they lowered them, but you still have a bill. Are you ready to get rid of it yet? You have information, and when you walk in, even if it's been 6 months, as long as you left with a good taste in your mouth, you're a likable person, which 99% of the people that I talk to are, they're going to talk to you. So that's the lesson for the day. Going out there, working smarter, not harder, tracking the information. It all starts right here with this resource. Again, if they don't have Reference USA at your library, they do have another database, I promise you, for that same list, for that same information. It might look different, but it's there.